So today we're going to talk about why magical timing is important for you to be doing, but not for the reason you think. It's a different reason, I swear. So, if you're a ceremonial magician and you're a person who practices ceremonial magic, specifically in the Kabbalistic Golden Dawn style, one of the things you will notice is that we like to use things called god names. God names are kind of sort of very fucking important. And they're very important because they're names of God. Now, due to the nature of reality, I mean, you could make a bunch of God names, and they all describe God, but specifically, these ones are the important ones that we actually give a shit about. Because these are the holy, venerable names that you shall not take in vain. Except for, we're not taking them in vain. We're using them to get things and to cause changes in our lives, like making us less depressed and getting that sweet, sweet promotion. Because Gary the intern won't let you get that promotion because Gary keeps fucking things up. Thanks, Gary. You're the worst. Anyways. So, that being said, why is magical timing important? Well, remember that god name spiel I just went on? I want you to imagine this. Every day, you go through and you use god names to call on energies. And these energies are really potent. That's why we call on them. So I want you to imagine this. You're calling on divine energies every day, constantly. You're doing it every day, not breaking, not stopping. Fuck the moon phase. Fuck the magical timing. Fuck the magical hours. Fuck everything. I'm gonna do magic all day, every day, and your brain's broken. Good job. Yeah, no, that's why. That's really the reason. The reason is because you will get burnt out. But instead of like video game burnout, it's like burnout on divine holy energy. That's not cool. That's not good. That's the opposite of what we want to happen. Now, let's think about this for a second, right? Is there another reason? Aside from the aforementioned planetary thing? Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's pretty useful to do magic, but unless you're doing a week-long rite, there's no reason you should be doing a consistent one fucking week-long spell. You shouldn't be doing a full week of magic unless it's part of the same ritual. I mean, that's just common knowledge. That being said, common sense is a very rare commodity nowadays. It's harvested in the mines deep below the earth. Now, let's think about this for a second. Let's say, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go do a week-long ritual. I'm going to do a week-long ritual. Spontaneously, without planning a single thing. Now that may or may not sound like a bad idea to some people. And you'd be right, wouldn't you, random Joe Schmo on the street? Yeah, that's right. That's a bad idea. Your week should be planning the ritual, knowing exactly what you're doing, thinking about the ramifications of the ritual, waiting, going through, performing the ritual, continuing the ritual for 1 week. That way, it's more powerful than if you just, hey, I'm going to just do a ritual now, right now, just doing a ritual, right fucking now. The only time that you can actually get away with doing a ritual spontaneously is if the magical hours and timings are correctly planned or whatever. That being said, considering that we're basically functioning with magical clocks, Yeah, that's what astrology is, by the way. It's a bunch of magical clocks. That being said, if the magical clocks align in such a right way that all the planets are in roughly the same amount of proximity to each other that you need to have them in to do your operation, go for it. Just don't plan a week-long ritual about it. And sometimes you may actually end up doing a ritual and thinking, well, I didn't actually need this to be done for a week-long ritual. 3 days is totally fine. I've had that happen as well, where I did a ritual. It was so potent the first 3 days that I just canceled the rest of the ritual. It had manifested, and I, at the very end, instead of doing the "this shall be continued the next day" or whatever I was going to do that, I thanked the spirits for getting it done so quickly and proactively. It was a very weird ritual that I might have to give a story time about. Might have to give a story time about how to do that one, because that one's actually a practical thing. I don't recommend it for everything. That being said, it is a very interesting ritual that I might have to document on the channel. Anyways, my rambling aside, yeah, that's the real reason. It's not because, oh, you need to have all the correct hours. No, sometimes you can randomly do shit and it'll work and it'll be totally fine. The real reason is because we don't want you to get magically burnt out, because there is nothing worse than getting holy sunburn. And 2, because occasionally you just need to take a break and make sure that the magical clocks are tuned to the proper timing. Because otherwise, you're calling up the goddess of love during the day of sex, and Aphrodite Aurea is not the most pleasant of entities. Unless you're into some really kinky BDSM stuff. And with that, I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment. If you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And if you really, really enjoyed this video, please share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.